Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Dream.Us new scholar office hours. So we are doing 3 of these for you to help you sort of get your questions answered sooner rather than later about the Dream.Us program. So let's just get into it. My name is Sadhana Singh. I'm the Senior Communications Manager for the Dream.Us, also a proud graduate myself. And I'm here with some members of our team. You're going to get to meet them throughout the summer, and you'll get to know all of us in due time, but they're here today to help us answer your questions. So we have Elena, Hayne, Chris. We may have some more joining later in the chat to help you out. So as we start, go ahead and introduce yourself in the chat. We want to know where you're coming from, what partner college you're going to. Let's get the chat going too, so we can get to know you. So right now, I'm actually starting on the page that's dedicated to your onboarding this summer, New Scholar Central. So one of my colleagues will drop the link in the chat for you. This is a page where you can bookmark and come back to it to check to see what's going on this summer for new scholars. So these are the emails that we'll be sending you through Constant Contact. But if you miss one, if you can't find it in your inbox, if you're like, oh, did I forget to do one of the tasks? You can come back to this page and we're going to post all of the emails here for you. So here's the recording for the last week's office hours if you missed it. And we're going to have one more office hour next Wednesday. All right, so let's get into it. The last email asked you to read your scholarship program guide. So I'm going to share a little bit about the guide here. We won't go through all of it because you're probably thinking, oh, it's so long, it's very dense, but we know that it can help you answer about 80% of the questions you may have about our program, especially how it works once you start in the fall. So right now I'm sharing the National Scholarship Program. The Opportunity Scholars have their own program guide as well. So what you'll see, first of all, is I want you to pay attention to headers in red. So this program guide serves 2 types of scholars. So for you, those awarded in 2023 and later, pay attention to the headers in red. The headers in any other color except orange all apply to you as well. So right here, we have the ISTS program support number and email, so you can call them if you need help. Down here, we have the table of contents. So just scanning the table of contents, you can see what's in this guide. We have like, how much is your award? When do you receive your award? What types of expenses can you use your award from? What happens if you want to do a study abroad or take summer classes? It also has important information about the time you have to complete your degree. How do you renew your award every year going forward? And also helpful things if you struggle, like if you want to take a term off, if you want to, drop a class or be less than full-time, it's all covered here, as you can see, right? Then I want to jump into right here, your support system, your scholar advisor, financial aid advisor, and of course, ISTS. So you'll get to know these folks over the summer and in the fall when you start. And lastly, the where to go for what. So you're probably all familiar with your ISTS portal by now, we hope. Soon you'll learn about the Scholar Hub on our website. And again, ISTS program support and the Facebook community, which you will get onboarded into next week. So that's enough talking from me. This is just 30 minutes, so we want to make sure we answer your questions. If anyone wants to come off mute and ask us questions that you have or write in the chat, let's get to it. Let's see what you have.
Hello.
Hi.
So my name is Isabella to begin with. I'm going to FIU, and for FIU, I was curious because I applied for fall, but they put me like in summer term or like early fall. So I don't know if the scholarship also covers that.
Hi, Isabella. It does. FIU is one of the schools where the scholarship can be used in the summer. That is also listed in the scholarship program guide for all of our national scholars, whether or not the partner college you are attending allows for the use of the scholarship during the summer. So since it sounds like you've already fully been admitted to FIU and they're ready to go ahead and get you started, then yes, nothing to worry about.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. And then because I did mention that it is for where you can go to find this information for our national scholars, if anybody happens to be on this call who is an opportunity scholar, unfortunately, the scholarship cannot be used during the summer because you do need your full award for the fall and spring terms.
All right, thank you. I see a question in the chat. What happens if you become a permanent resident? Great question. That's also covered here. Let's see if I can, right here on page 11. So Elena, do you want to help us clarify what happens if the scholar becomes a permanent resident?
Sure, and I will preface this one also. There is a difference between whether you are an opportunity scholar or a national scholar. So if you are one of our national scholarship recipients, once you receive permanent residency, you are then eligible or able to start completing the FAFSA and receive federal aid. And because of that, once you do have that federal aid coming in, you've received your permanent residency, you are no longer eligible for the scholarship. And any funds that are left in your scholarship at that time are then basically put back into the giant pool of money so that we can then fund additional scholars who do not have access to those federal funds. If you are an opportunity scholar, the difference there is you are still eligible for the scholarship because we know you've made that commitment to move away from home to attend one of our 5 opportunity partner colleges. And because that award, you've moved away from home, it's covering your housing, your meals, that the national one does not cover, we still allow you to keep the scholarship. We still want you to apply for FAFSA so that you get that federal aid, which will just help because the school is also helping to cover a very large portion of your expenses while you're there.
Awesome, thank you. Any other questions? So my colleague Hayne has put both of the guides in the chat for you, national or opportunity. If anyone's on the call today for the opportunity program, let us know in the chat. Hayne is actually your contact for the opportunity program, so let us know if you're here. All right, good questions in the chat. What if you change your partner school? Take it away, Elena.
So there is a section in the program guide as well that lets you know what you need to do. You can transfer to another partner college within your state. And there are a handful of partner colleges that you do have to have prior permission from us before you transfer. And those are listed here in the program guide. But you would basically go into your ISTS portal, and there is a little orange button on the right-hand side. You can see it there, and it's called the TheDream.Us request form. And you would click on that, let us know that you're wanting to transfer, and then you'll just fill out a couple of questions letting us know where it is you're trying to transfer to, and then we'll be able to let you know if it's definitely one that you're not going to have an issue transferring to, or if it's one that requires permission. We'll sort of work through that to let you know if it's approved or denied, and then we will get all of the changes made in the system so that you then populate into the correct reports for that school so that they know that you're one of our scholars.
Great. Another question came in. So we have to renew the scholarship every summer term. So while I go to that page, I want Chris to take this question. Chris, can you explain why they renew the scholarship each summer?
Hola, mi gente. So You technically will be renewing your scholarships at the end of the spring semester, which is, I guess, is technically summer session. And so we do an annual renewal. So it is basically every year you will have to renew your scholarship in order to receive funding for the following year. We do it at the end of the spring, again, sort of summer session, so that you would be able to provide us your transcripts that will outline any information academically that you've completed the last year, and that is part of the review process, as well as some additional questions regarding your status and any other questions that is needed in order for you to remain eligible for the scholarship. And that is how, again, we sort of make sure that our students are on track to graduate and are progressing through their academics effectively and are able to retain their scholarship.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris. And for new scholars, just to clarify even more, you don't have to apply again for the scholarship. So once you're in, and this is what you do each summer, as Chris said. So you don't have to start a new application or anything like that. All right, let's see. Another question. How do we contact our advisors? All right, Hayne, please take that question.
Oh man, I was furiously getting ready to share the links in the chat. We have an internal competition going on with the team of who can share the most resources. Okay, so yes, you do have advisors on each of your partner college campuses. I'm dropping the link in the chat. I think I beat Chris to it just now. Interestingly enough, Chris used to be one of our scholar advisors at Hunter College at CUNY. I don't know if we have any New York scholars on the line or any future CUNY students. I'm also based in New York. Our team is everywhere. So our scholar advisors are your go-to person on campus. They will guide you through the entire college experience, and it's so important that you reach out to them and connect with them. So this is the link that we've dropped in the chat. Save it, bookmark it. It has the list of all of your scholar advisors for your campus. And if you have a hard time contacting one of them, give it a bit of time. During the summer, things are a little slow, but if you have real issues trying to get in touch with your scholar advisor that is listed on this directory, feel free to reach out to one of us, and we will make sure that we get you in touch with the right person. So we have a ton of programs, other things besides the scholarship, fun events that you will all be a part of, and your scholar advisor will be the one in the know. So Sadhana will talk about it probably in a little bit here, but we have a lot of great events, materials, swag, stuff that's coming your way. And the person who you will connect with and get all that good stuff from is our scholar advisor.
Thank you, Hayne. All right. Question came in about study abroad. So could some of the scholarship money be allocated to a potential study abroad program? Elena?
How did I know that was coming to me? Okay, so this is a yes and no question, or I guess I should say answer. So if you are one of our scholars who has DACA or TPS, then yes, it can be used for a study abroad program that is offered through your partner college. The reason it is only open to those with DACA or TPS, obviously, because that way you can actually apply for advanced parole with the hopes of it being approved and you being able to leave the country and be able to enter back into the country once your program is over. But there is additional information, as you know, Sadhana showing there on the screen. Definitely a good thing to read up on, see whether or not you would qualify for or meet all the qualifications there in order to take advantage of that opportunity.
Great, thank you. These are great questions, you all. You're ahead of the game because you're finding out all of this stuff before you even start. So let's keep going. We've got about 15 more minutes. So let's see. Just wanted to know for summer classes, what amount it covers since there's summer 1 and summer 2. Elena?
So it really is going to depend on what your partner college provides to us as far as your enrollment. Typically for summer, it's going to cover your full tuition costs for summer, whether you're taking, one class in summer one class in summer two. It varies. While we do have a maximum yearly award amount for the scholarship, that yearly amount only takes into account summer and fall because we do not require scholars to take classes during the summer. And the scholarship's not available for all of our partner colleges for summer. And so, it does typically cover that. If the tuition and fees expenses are a little more than what a normal term would be, at that point, I would have a conversation with your school. But that's really kind of between me and your school at that point, not necessarily something you have to worry about.
Great. So Elena, can you talk about when they get the funds? So talk about just regular school year and also summer. What's the timing of when they get the funds?
Absolutely. So our scholarship is a little different because each of your partner colleges fills out a report that they send in to us to let us know each scholar's enrollment for the term, whether that be summer, whether that be fall, spring. If you happen to attend one of our small number of schools who are on a quarter system, the winter quarter would be in there as well. Our scholarship funds do not arrive to your school until mid-term. So just something to note, most schools have an automatic system set up where you will start to get notices saying, hey, your bill is due, your bill is due, your bill is due, why hasn't it been paid yet? You do not have to worry about those. Those are something that the school, it's set up automatically. They can't retract those from going out just because you have the scholarship. But they do know that as long as they have provided your scholarship information to us as far as your enrollment, they understand that the payment won't come in until later. And so with the saying that the payment doesn't come until later, it also depends on when your school sends it in to us. So right now for summer, all of our partner colleges have until the end of July to send that in to us. Some will send it in for each individual summer session. Some will wait until all of the summer sessions have already started before they send it in to us. So it really kind of depends on when the school gets it to us for us to then be able to turn around, work on getting those awards set up, and then send the funds out, which is why we say middle of the semester.
Perfect. And right here on the screen is the participation summary box that you'll see in your ISTS portal. Keep track of this. It'll tell you your scholar status, your partner college, if you've taken a term off, that's breaks in enrollment, and it also has your award tracking right here. So bookmark the ISTS portal. You'll be going to it. You'll also need your app ID for a lot of the opportunities and events and programming that Hayne mentioned. So we always collect your app ID. So basically you'll be best friends with this guide and your ISTS portal. All right, so following on that, Elena, let's explain a little bit of what their award covers and what it doesn't cover.
Sure, so your scholarship will cover your tuition and mandatory fees. And real quick, I'll explain what the mandatory fees are. So those are fees that are required of every student, not just with our scholarship, but every student who is enrolled at that school in any given term. So things like student activity fees, technology fees. What it doesn't cover when it comes to fees are things like individual class fees. Say you're taking a photography class and there's a fee required with that. It does not cover those fees. And there is a cap on how much you can receive within the fall and spring terms. So the annual amount that you can receive is $82.50. And then that amount is split between the 2 terms, so fall and spring, unless you're on a quarter system. And with that, it's an up to award amount. So you can see that it says that there are 3 caps on the award. So the first one is the award amount will never be more than your actual cost of tuition and fees for the term. If you were in a state where you were eligible to apply for state aid and you receive state aid, that state aid will take your tuition and fees and reduce it. And then your award amount would be the difference of those 2. It will never be more than the maximum award for the term. So say you happen to be attending one of our schools that's a little more costly and your tuition and fees for the term are $5,000. The maximum you could receive would be $4,125. But your school should be working with you to cover the difference. And then finally, your scholarship will never be more than what your unmet need is. And that's after looking at if you're getting additional scholarships, institutional aid, things like that. So we have a huge calculation that takes all of this into account and basically figures out what your award will be. So when we say number 3 will never be more than your unmet need, if your total cost of attendance for a year is $25,000 and you happen to have $20,000 coming in other aid, then that means that your unmet need is $5,000. And so that's how that is sort of calculated. Hope that didn't confuse anybody too bad.
Yes. Well, you have your guide. Make sure to read it over. As we say, it answers most of the questions. If there's something you don't understand or need clarification, please reach out to ISTS. They will help you on that. Let's see. Someone is asking about transferring colleges, which my colleagues have answered. And thank you, Chris, for answering that question in Spanish. All right, let's go back to where the transfer is. So as Elena was saying, let me scroll. So we do allow transfers to partner colleges, between partner colleges. Here's the information right here. And you do need advance approval from us before you transfer to these specific colleges here in the blue box. And otherwise, if you're transferring partner colleges in your state, you would go here in your ISTS portal again. Right here to the right on top of the box here, you're going to see Dream.Us request form. So transferring to another PC is one of the things you can do with that request form. So that's what you would need to do for transferring. All right, so someone asked, when does the scholarship open again? Yes, great question, thank you. So the scholarship opens November 1st every year. You can set your calendar to that. It's November 1st, and our website will be updated with all of the eligibility criteria, all of the partner colleges for the round. Basically, we have a guide to help you apply. We're going to take care of you. So share the scholarship with your friends, your family, your community. November 1st is when it opens. All right, great questions, you all. We have 7 minutes left. So again, if you want to come off mute, chat with us, share something about yourself, or if there's something else you're confused about, this is a safe space. You can ask us.
Elena, just because I've been getting some direct questions, can you talk about the stipend?
Sure. So for all of our new scholars, the stipend is something that all of you qualify for unless you are attending Purdue University. So since Purdue is an online partner with us, the stipend does not apply to those students. But for everyone else, if you enroll in fall, you enroll in spring, you receive a stipend. So it's $1,500 a year, so $750 each term. If you're at a quarter school, $500 each term. But that stipend can be used for books, supplies, transportation, different expenses like that. So there's nothing that you have to do in order to get your stipend. Your stipend is sent at the same time that your scholarship award is sent. So it's sent directly to your partner college. Each partner college, though, handles the distribution of your stipend differently. So it would be best for you to talk to your financial aid advisor or your scholar aid advisor and see what it is that, or how it is that your partner college handles that distribution. Some open it up in the beginning for, you can go to the bookstore, charge it to your account. Once it comes in, they then take that stipend, apply it towards that bill. Others will release it to you as soon as it comes in, send you a check or a direct deposit. And then you're able to do with it as you want. Others may release it to you actually at the beginning of the semester, but that's just something they've decided to do on their own, and they'll wait for our funds to come in midterm before they sort of pay themselves back. So it is different for every school.
All right, let's see. Someone is asking about going into more detail about the transportation.
So for that, it really is just a matter of whether you put that money towards gas money, if you're looking to put it towards a Metro card, it's going to vary. So it's just those funds can be used for that. We do say that it's a good idea for you to keep your receipts in case you were to ever get audited by the IRS and they want to know, how you used those expenses. You want to be able to say, here's my receipts from the bookstore or from, Amazon.com, because you bought your books through Amazon or half.com, something like that. Gas receipts, Metro card receipts, good idea to sort of keep up with those.
All right, and real quick, I'll just share my experience with the stipend. So as Elena was saying, my stipend actually came to my university's bookstore. I was able to charge books at the bookstore, and then whatever was left over, they did give it to me as direct deposit. The other thing as well is that I would, like Elena said, go on Amazon, go on certain sites, buy my books very cheaply, use that kind of stuff. And when the stipend comes in, if you do have extra, funds to cover with the tuition and fees, you can then apply your stipend to that as well. So that's what I did. I took my entire stipend and whatever was still owed for my college after everything was applied, I was like, yes, put it towards whatever I owe. So basically it's up to you how you want to use your stipend. But as Elena says, it does come in the middle of the term or the semester with your regular tuition and fees. So make sure to plan ahead of time before your semester starts about your books, transportation, supplies, that kind of thing. All right, so we got 2 minutes. Hayne, is there any more direct questions or anyone else getting any direct questions?
Yes, so just 2 things. One is maybe we can just quickly remind folks that even though it takes some time for the funds to hit your partner college, it will also then take some time for your partner college to distribute those funds to your individual accounts. So just know that in the meantime, your scholar advisor and or your financial aid advisor should be taking care of your student account. So even if you keep seeing on your student account that a balance is due, as long as you're eligible for your scholarship, and maybe that's the link we want to drop, you want to keep monitoring the status of your scholarship in your scholar portal. So as long as in your scholar portal, there's a snapshot and information here on the guide as well about what that portal looks like. As long as it continues to say that you're eligible for the scholarship, just know that you will have funds coming, so don't worry. I think that's the main message we want to put out there. And then the other thing is, I had a great question around the difference between tuition and fees. So I wonder, Elena, if you can speak really quickly to why we cover tuition and fees and what's the difference between those two.
Okay, so tuition ultimately is the cost of your classes. The mandatory fees that the scholarship covers are those that I had mentioned earlier. So student activity fees, technology fees. I'm trying to remember what some of the others that I see all the time. Actually saw it, if you were to go down where it talks about what does it cover? The mandatory fees are listed in that section. There we go. So yeah, technology fees, athletic fees. It does not include health insurance. If you're required to get health insurance through the school, that is something that your stipend can be applied to. But yeah, outside of that, it is tuition and fees is the cost of your classes plus those mandatory fees that the school charges every student on campus.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great. So we're at time, everyone. You can join us next Wednesday. We'll be doing the same thing. So if you still have more questions after reading, let us know. As Chris answered in the chat, your partner college already has your information. So you really don't have to worry about anything right now. Just watch out for our emails that are coming. And we'll see you next week. Thank you all for joining us. You had some really great questions. And we're really glad that you're with us and now part of our program and part of the Dream.Us family. So thank you, everyone. Bye.